Welcome guys, today number 4. Yes! You guys are doing freaking fantastic. Those pictures that you've been sending me of your salads and your smoothies, not only do they make me hungry, but a lot of them have given me many ideas for myself. It's so nice to be able to share these things. And the recipes, please keep them coming because I'm learning a lot from you guys as well. So today I thought we would kind of go down the route that I start with my 180 wellness people, and it's a very important topic. So really guys, we're going to be talking about heart disease, and really anybody that you know that might benefit from this information, please pass this on. This is something that we need to share, and here's the reason why. Okay, heart disease is the number 1 killer in the United States. Number 1 killer. The CDC says that here in America, every year, about 650,000 people die every year. Okay, this is ridiculous. These numbers are insane, okay? And especially when you consider that there's countries that don't even have a word for heart disease. So like, really, what's wrong here? What are they doing that we're not? Or what are we doing that they're not, right? So that's what we're gonna talk about today. And the first thing that, I kind of want to start off with that everybody says, well, it's in my family, my grandfather had it, my uncle had it, and blah, blah, blah. But here's the deal. According to statistics, tough word to say. There will be a few tough words to say today, but it's 0.4% is your genetics that account for these gene-related diseases. So just to let you know that your genes are not what's causing the problem, and we're going to find out in like 2 seconds as to what it is. Okay, so first of all, I want to give a great big shout out to Caldwell B. Esselstyn. The information that you're going to be learning today is from Caldwell himself, and this guy is amazing. If you get a chance, I'll put this up. It's prevent and reverse. So these are great words to see when the next thing is heart disease. Okay, so great book. If you can, go on YouTube, look him up. I'm telling you guys, he's amazing, and we really owe him a debt of thanks for giving us this information and doing the studies. And anyways, let's get right into it, okay? So our first word today is, and there's going to be a couple words that I want you to pay attention to. The rest of it is going to be a lot of doctor words, and as we know, they're long, hard words, and I'll be going just blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But the 2 words that I show you, those are the ones I really want you to remember. Okay, so the first one is endothelial, okay? I know it sounds like something from Star Wars, but this is a really important word, and after you know what it is, you're gonna kind of look at your body a little bit differently, okay? So endothelial, so what the heck is this? This is the lining of every stinking vein and artery in your entire body, okay? It's a single cell layer of basically Teflon, okay? Your blood slips and slides all the way through your body on this beautiful magic carpet, okay? Now, when you eat foods like, let's say, a cheeseburger and French fries and a chocolate shake, the American diet, right? What happens is that, in fact, I have a little graph here. What did I do with it? Okay, so when you eat these foods, and they turn into sticky molecules in your body, okay? But I want to show you something first. So when you have a cheeseburger, fries, and a chocolate shake, these stand for S is saturated fat. I hope you can see it. It looks kind of tiny. O stands for oil that they cook the freaking fries in. Potatoes are great. French fries, not so much. Okay, and the last one is chocolate shake, sugar, okay? when you eat these things, it turns into a sticky molecule that goes into your body. Oh, one more thing. Some people don't know what saturated fat is. And believe me, don't shame yourself, because I didn't know what saturated fat was either at one time. So saturated fat, and here's a great way to remember this. My friend Marge came up with this. Med, like you need a medical doctor if you eat saturated fat. So saturated fats, guys, are M stands for meat, E stands for eggs, and D stands for dairy, okay? All those items have nothing but saturated fat in them, okay? And let me tell you what's gonna happen inside of your body when you eat these. So back to the sticky molecules. Okay, I keep talking about it, but now I'm gonna tell you what it is. Okay, so when you eat these foods, they literally go into your body and they're sticky. They're like Velcro, okay? So they literally get into your bloodstream after you eat them. And by the way, watch Game Changers. They have a really good scene in there that kind of shows exactly what it looks like in your blood. And it's pretty disgusting. But anyways, so it gets in there and it starts bumping in to this delicate single layer of cells, and it starts ripping the shreds out of it, okay? So as it's doing it, it literally lodges in these little tears, okay? These little tears are called subendothelial compartments, okay? Now, what happens is that the vein feels it and it's like, what the what? Get this out of here. So it puts out a 911, and the body's like, whoa, something's going on. We got to get to this part of the vein, right? So it sends a messenger called a chemokine. Okay, these chemokines are the first on the scene, and they kind of look at what's going on and they assess the situation, and then they send out for the big guns, the SWAT team, the white blood cells. Okay, so the white blood cells come back to that area of the body and they're gonna fix it, because that's what white blood cells do, right? So they get in there and they start eating everything up like a little Pac-Man. Okay, well, it gets a little carried away. So these little Pac-Man, after they're done and they're all filled and they're all like just loaded to the gills, this little subendothelial compartment that has like a little hard shell that the blood is going by. In fact, I can show you a picture. So, oops, not that one, this one. Okay, so it's like this. Can you see that this is the vein and this would be the subendothelial compartment, right? So the little Pac-Man, which are now called foam cells because they're all filled up, they start to erode and thin out because they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They end up eroding and thinning out this cap, and it starts to open and spilling out all the stuff that's in it, all the gunk that's inside of there. So this innocuous little bump, plaque, that's you're basically all that cholesterol that's all in there starts spilling out into the vein, okay? Once that happens, it rips further and further till you can see what happens. Literally, it blocks the entire vein. Guys, this is heart attack. This is stroke, okay? We don't want this, right? So, with this being said, does it mean that, I mean, believe me, we all have them. I grew up on White Castle. I would go to Popeyes every week. I love Portillo's, all of these places, and I would eat the bad stuff. You can get good stuff at these places now, but back in the day, you couldn't. It was all saturated fat, right? So we all have these little plaques, right? As Dr. Michael Greger says, if you're 11 years old, you already got them forming. So here's the deal. They're there as long as you're not feeding them and fueling them and creating those little Pac-Mans and those foam cells. You're all good, okay? It's only when you keep eating those foods that make them it basically explode open, okay? This is why we see a lot of people having heart attacks like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. By the time you're 60, I think it's 60 or 70, by the time you're 70, 60, wait, let me get this right. Hold on. By the time you're 60, 70% of us have cardiovascular disease, whether it be the form of high blood pressure, which is just kind of showing that your veins are in distress, right? So by the time you're 80% of us have cardiovascular disease. So it's an epidemic. It really is. So is it lights out? There's nothing we can do about it. We might as well sit in a rocking chair and just, eat our cheeseburgers and live life to the fullest, right? No. There is something you can freaking do about it. Not only can you stop the formation of these things, you can actually reverse it. So how do we do that? That's our second word. Nitric oxide. Okay, this is something that we've been eating since the very, very first day, and this is found in our green leafy vegetables, okay? Let me tell you how it works. So when you eat those green leafies, there's a thing in it called nitrates, okay? Not the nitrates you find in your cured meats, okay? These are the good nitrates, okay? When you eat them, they mix with the saliva in your mouth, which has a thing called nitrates. So in the little grooves on your tongue, the little bacteria on your tongue, it mixes with them, right? So when it mixes into your stomach with your gastric acids, it turns into nitric oxide. Now this is the good stuff, guys. When this gets absorbed into your body, literally it gets into your veins and it prevents those Velcro molecules from doing any damage. It creates vascular dilation. That's what you do when you're running up the stairs and you need that extra oxygen so that you can breathe. Okay, so, and it's like it fuels your muscles so that they have oxygen to do the extra work, right? So the third thing is that it prevents hypertension. Okay, it literally stops that hardening of the arteries, okay? So it's doing all this great stuff. It also prevents the plaque buildup to begin with, okay? The last thing is it destroys foam cells. So all that junk that's in there literally can get cleaned out, and so that your veins could become sparkling clean. So what are those foods? Okay, I'm gonna read them because Dr. Esselstyn can just rattle them off, and it's really cute the way he does it because he almost does it in a sing-songy voice, but I'm gonna read them to you because I can't remember all these, but here's just some of them. So bok choy, Swiss chard, kale, collard greens, beet greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, Napa cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, cilantro, parsley, spinach, arugula, asparagus, watermelon, and beets, okay? All these things have the nitrates in it that will turn into nitric oxide in your body and help you to clean out all the gunk that we have accumulated for all these years. And some ways that you can get it into you is, as we've been talking about, put them in your smoothies. Make those epic salads. Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn suggests for his heart patients, so people who currently have heart disease, who you've got to look at his research because he literally took people who are on death's doorsteps. Sorry guys, I'm really having a hard time talking today. But watch Forks Over Knives. He explains it all in there. It's beautifully done show, and you'll really get a sense, and you'll actually kind of know what he's talking about because we had this little lesson today. But anyways, what he suggests is, I think, like 5 or 6 times a day to literally get like spinach or get some kale and get a little pot. I'm at the stove right now. Get a little pot, put it on there, put some water, put a couple cups of spinach or kale in there, cook it down for 5 minutes, drain it, put it in a bowl, put a little bit of vinegar or whatever you like to flavor it with, and eat it, because his whole idea is to bathe, literally have this nitric oxide going through your body 24/7. Well, I guess not 24/7, you do have to sleep sometime, but anyways, you know what I mean. So just really to get it flowing through your veins to clear out all that gunk that we just didn't know. And That's the one thing. Maya Angelou, I love her quote and her whole thing, and I'm paraphrasing this, but her quote was, do the best you can until you know better, and then when you know better, do better. So hopefully I'm giving you some stuff to help you make better choices, and I love you all, and I wish you all good health, and looking forward to day 5, and yeah, I don't even know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but hopefully it'll be something fun. Okay, bye guys. I love you all. Bye.